IVM.
If you enjoy listening to IVM Likes, you should also check out our other show called Seen and the Unseen, a show hosted by Amit Verma where he discusses topics related to economics, politics and its impact on our society. New episodes every Monday on the IVM Podcasts app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi and welcome to episode 98 of IVM Likes. We are in the studio. We are laughing a lot today because it's just a happy day to be in the studio and doing this podcast. We are here in the studio and we're going to talk about some recommendations. We're going to give some recommendations and talk about a particular topic in the second half. But before we get into what we're talking about, I'll quickly introduce my panel today. My name is Abbas, of course, and with me is Alika.
Hello.
And Karthik.
Hey guys.
And in the first half, obviously, we'll be giving out recommendations. And in the second half, thanks to the hyped trailer for The Lion King, which is all over the internet, it's broken the internet. Is that still an expression? No?
No, I think
But it's because it's set some kind of record, highest, most watched YouTube trailer for Disney in 48 hours or something like that. But that got us thinking, what are the other live action movies that were adapted from cartoons that we love, that we hate? We're going to talk about that in the second half. But as usual, in the first half, as we have done for the 97 previous episodes, we're going to give some recommendations. Okay, Alika, what are you recommending for us?
Oh man, okay. I'm going to start recommending with a graphic novel because that's apparently the only thing I read nowadays. But yeah, this is a graphic novel called Nimona, written by Noel Stevenson, famous for having written the She-Ra cartoon, She-Ra and the Princesses
The
of
one
Power.
which is on Netflix right now?
Yes, it's on Netflix
okay.
right now. Go watch it. It's real good. Hey, can that be my recommendation also? Double recommendation, guys. Double recommendation. Go watch She-Ra and the Princesses of Power. It's great. Yeah, and she's written another great graphic novel, which I may recommend at some other point in time, called Lumberjanes. But we are talking about Nimona, which was her first work. So it started out as a webcomic in I think 2010, and it was like her thesis because she was in college, like the Maryland Institute College of Art or whatever, and it got a lot of views on the internet, and it kind of took the internet by storm a little. And
You mean it broke the internet?
Sure, it broke the internet.
Okay.
Icon has cheeseburger now. Yeah, and then it got picked up by HarperCollins to be made into a proper, actual, physical graphic novel. It's really cool. So this
is the same one. Nimona started as her
as a
thesis
webcomic
or whatever.
Yeah, as a webcomic / thesis. Whatever.
Okay.
So it's a really cool story. Basically, it's set in this pseudo fantasy techno punk world.
Okay.
I mean, there's like magic and there's like normal fantasy tropes, but then there's also like institutes which do lab testing over there.
So science isn't completely out of this world. It's,
No, it is
closer to our world. The science aspect is closer to our world.
Sure. So yeah, but it follows the adventures of this person, this young girl named Nimona, who basically goes up to the evil villain of this world called Ballister Blackheart and decides that she's going to be his sidekick.
Okay.
And he is extremely reluctant because she is far more bloodthirsty than he is.
Okay.
And causes a lot more chaos and destruction that he wants to. He's like, no, I'm going to rule the world and make it like my way. And she's like, no, we're going to destroy the world. It's great. And yeah, and we see like a really cool dynamic relationship between her, the arch-villain Ballister Blackheart, and his nemesis, former friend, now nemesis and all-round good guy hero, Sir Ambrosius Goldenloin. And it's really cool. It kind of, I don't want to give away the ending because it's fun.
So I have a question. So the roles are reversed here. Traditionally, it's the good guy who's kind of the protagonist in these fantasy stories. But here we're not even with the bad guy, we're the bad guy's sidekick.
Right.
So then is the good guy seen as the villain, or do they just play around with it?
So the good guy definitely has shades of grey.
Okay.
It's not a completely
like from our point of view, because we're rooting for the villain's sidekick.
You're not even really looking through the sidekick's point of view. You're looking through the villain's point of view as he's dealing with this somewhat crazy sidekick who has just decided to join him.
Right.
And she's like a shapeshifter, so she just kind of shapeshifts into things like cats and then dragons, and basically causes mass destruction. And it's also a really good story to show how a lot of fantasy, all these fantasy things where you have sirens and stuff, all these monster girls.
No.
I mean, no. So okay, let's get out of fantasy. Do you know, like in comics, like Jean Grey and the Phoenix? Yeah. So you know how when women are given this insurmountable sort of power, the first instinct of everyone is like, how do we control this?
Right.
So this touches a lot on those themes.
Okay.
That that Nimona has a lot of raw power, and now everyone's like, how can we make use of this? How can we control this? And it's kind of trying to break those tropes.
Okay.
So I don't want to give away the whole ending.
Reminds me of Raven from DC.
Kind of, yeah. So what's the tone of the comic? Is it humorous?
Pretty funny, yeah. It's PG-13.
Okay.
So you can give it to your kids and read it as an adult. So it's pretty funny. It's got a little bit of irreverent humor, and it's really nicely drawn. You can actually see her progression as an artist as you're flipping the pages, because she started this when she was pretty young, and it took a while to finish. So you can see the really nice progression in color tones and composition and stuff. It's really good.
So is the entire series available as one book?
Yes, it is a single book now, which you can get.
And how long is the book?
Can I show on the podcast by holding my fingers this much apart?
Seems around 250 pages.
I think it may be a little less. Maybe about 200 pages.
Oh, that's good enough.
Yeah.
Alright, so that was Alika's recommendation. Now let's move on to Karthik. Karthik, what have you got for us?
So I'm recommending an indie artist. He's a rap artist. So his name is Broda V.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Sorry for laughing at your name, Broda V. If you're Broda or Broda?
Broda.
Is it like Brada?
Yeah.
Okay.
Brodha? Okay.
So
why not Brodav? Why Broda V?
We should ask him, definitely. We should have him on Cyrus, and we should ask him.
Broda V, if you're listening, feel free to contact us.
So tell us about Broda V.
He's a Bangalore-based rapper. So the best thing that I like about him, he adds a bit of Carnatic music onto his rap. So even I guess he's a trained Carnatic singer as well. So the whole amalgamation of both Indian and Western is something that got me into it. The first song I happened to listen to is Aigri Nandini.
Okay.
It's a hymn in down there in South. So it's quite popular, and he made a whole rap song out of it. And
Nice.
What's it about?
So it's basically about women empowerment and all.
Okay.
So it was
cool.
made long back, I guess in 2010, 11, back then.
Okay.
Nice.
So
I want to say back when women empowerment wasn't the thing.
no,
There's a joke.
Abbas.
So he goes that far back. So he's not he's not a new artist.
He's not a new artist.
Okay.
He's there in the industry for quite some time. Yeah.
And does he rap in South Indian movies as well, or is he just
there are hardly movies which he's basically an independent artist.
Okay.
So he's not any label based or movie based.
Okay.
Sometimes he does. I guess he did one song for Chennai Express.
Okay.
I'm not wrong.
Alright.
So,
Nice.
With Honey Singh or something. I don't know.
That's pretty mainstream.
A song, I guess. So there are many songs which I like. So there's Atma Rama. So then there's After Party. All these are Carnatic based songs. Yeah.
Is he known for rapping is he known for taking up issues in his songs, or are they
yeah.
Okay.
He does take up issues.
Okay.
It's pretty. He's not your mainstream rap artist around in India.
Right.
He's completely different. Comes in the lines of Divine or Raftar or Beat or an Emmy or anyways, like he's very independent and
so
he takes up major
not,
issues here.
Not similar to these rappers. Is that what you're saying?
No, he's not similar to the mainstream artists.
Got it.
Divine and all are now mainstream, but earlier they used to make independent songs, and so yeah, that's my recommendation.
And where can one find Bro Davi's music?
On any music app you can listen to. Yeah,
Okay.
you listen to.
So, what, like, if I were to ask you like 3 songs of Bro Davi that one should listen to?
You should definitely listen to Aigri Nandini.
Okay.
Then there's After Party.
Okay.
Then there's Atma Rama.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Nice. That was Karthik's recommendation. All right. So I'll round this up with my recommendation. So I saw this really cool dark movie, and it's also literally called Near Dark.
This is so Abbas. I don't even need to know what the movie's about. This is so Abbas.
You want to take a guess what it's about?
No.
I think you like the movie. So this is actually one of Catherine Bigelow's early film. Catherine Bigelow, for those who want to refresh their memories, directed The Hurt Locker, which won the Best Film Oscar in 2011, I think. So the film is essentially about it's a vampire western. All right, it's set in the American West. It deals
vampires.
But it's a western, so it deals with this guy who has been bitten by a lady vampire under circumstances I wouldn't go into. But it takes itself very seriously. Like, the word vampire is never said in the movie.
No.
So after he gets bitten, he starts realizing that he's actually now turning into something else. He starts thirsting for blood, and that's when he comes to realize that there is actually a cabal of vampires that's in the town where he lives, and they kidnap him and they try to make him a part of their gang. So the entire movie is just about that, how they go from place to place, and this guy is just battling with the idea of that the fact that he was human a couple of days ago, and now he's becoming into something else. At the same time, he's fallen in love with the girl who made him a vampire. So
that seems very Stockholm syndrome.
Now that I said it, it sounds kind of like Twilight or something, but it's not. It's tonally very different. It's very serious. It's very gritty. So the guy has a dad and a little sister at home. So he's torn between this, staying with his family and then joining this cabal of vampires. And the film gets darker and darker as it goes along. It was made on a very small budget in the late 80s. So it's got that indie film feel to it. It's not very big budget. They don't have big special effects. So the way they show the people becoming vampires or the way vampires go around wreaking havoc is very cleverly done. And yeah, it uses tropes of vampire horror. At the same time, there's a kind of a shootout in a bar which is very reminiscent of an old western film.
Oh, nice.
So the cinematography is really nice because they have long shots of like the arid wasteland that the western is known for. So yeah, check it out. It's available on so I saw it on this website called Mubi, but the thing is those the films expire there after a month. So I think the film has expired, but in case it's not, do check out. It's available to view on the website. So check it out. It's called Near Dark. Very cool. It's kind of horror. It's kind of western, and you can see Catherine Bigelow's early work was foreshadowing what was gonna come later on.
Vampires don't expire.
They don't.
I do have a question.
Yeah.
Is there a vampire cowboy in it?
Yes.
They should be.
And the way they display the sunlight affecting vampires is also really cool. So
yeah, I have questions about how a vampire hangs out in the Midwest.
I know, and it kind of addresses that in a subtle way. So those were our recommendations. Alika, once more, what did you recommend?
I recommended Nimona, a graphic novel by Noel Stevenson.
Karthik?
I recommended the artist Broda V.
And I recommended the film Near Dark. Alright, we'll take a break at this point, and when we come back, we'll talk about cartoons that were made into live action films and what are our favorites and what are our not so favorites. We'll see you on the other side of this break.
Hey, it's been another great week on IVM Podcast. If you're not following us on social media, please make sure you do. We're IVM Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Our Instagram page is actually pretty interesting. The stories we do are the team and what they're doing on a day-to-day basis, and they're pretty kind of fun. Take a look at them. Let us know what you think. This week on Cyrus's guest is writer and journalist Namita Devi Dayal. She talks about how she got into journalism, her background in Indian classical music, and her upcoming book titled The Sixth String of Vilayat Khan. On The Scene and the Unseen, Amit Verma's guest is a cricket commentator and journalist whose voice most cricket fans can identify. I hope you guessed that it's Harsha Bhogle. He spoke to Amit about the evolution of Indian cricket, its rise, and the changes that he has witnessed over the years. Really, really great episode, and we're really excited to have Harsha on the network. Please definitely check it out. We also launched a brand new show called The Paperback Podcast, hosted by Racheta Sharma and Satyajit Roy. Every week they'll talk to industry experts about 5 of their favorite non-fiction books. The first episode featuring Apurva Damani of Artha Ventures is out on the 5th. On the Rediscovery Podcast final episode of this season, Ambika and Hoshar talk to Pankil Shah and Sumit Gambhir. They talk food, travel, and the secret ingredients to a decade of managing Indian restaurants. Pankil and Sumit were also participants in our other show, The Kolaba Cartel, so it'd definitely be a fun conversation and definitely check them out. And with that, let's move on with the shows.
And we're back, and guess who just walked into the studio, guys? It's Jaanam Devan.
Yay!
What's up, Jaanam?
Yes,
Hi.
at the time of this recording, she's a year older because yesterday was her birthday.
Yes,
so
it
belated
was.
happy birthday to
Thank you. Thank you.
Belated happy birthday.
Thank you, guys.
Where's the cake?
Everyone
I'm
can,
asking the same question. Where is my cake?
everyone should wish Jaanam on her social media handles.
Yes, it's at Jaanam Devan on Twitter and Instagram both. I changed my Insta handle.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So we all saw the Lion King trailer that
Yeah.
dropped on YouTube. It brought back a lot of memories. We saw the same visuals as a cartoon, but now we see it as live action. So that made us think, let's talk about some...
What did you think about the trailer?
I liked it. It was a little too similar to the animated version. I was expecting them to experiment a little bit.
Here's my thing. Like, every single shot in the trailer is there in the actual
Animated
Lion
movie.
King.
You saw that thing, right? They did that parallel
Yeah.
comparison frame by
Yeah.
frame. It's exactly...
Yeah. I mean, it's cool that you're keeping to the subject matter, but like, I thought if you've got the time to do a full movie, you might want to try out some little different
Yeah, I
stuff.
agree. That's why I'm waiting for the full trailer to
actual
drop.
movie.
I think
Yeah.
maybe this is just to kind of get people interested. And
I'm
be
more
like,
interested in like how would Timon and Pumbaa look.
Yes.
Yeah.
They are a bit animated. Like they are more
Live
animated.
action.
Yeah.
More exaggerated.
So,
Yes.
yeah.
They better still keep the
And Scar.
scene of Timon and Drag doing the hula.
and eating the bugs.
To contribute some facts to my usual fluff conversations, I just saw a Rotten Tomatoes post. It says with 224.6 million views, the Lion King trailer has set the record for most views for any Disney movie trailer in a single day. It is the second most watched trailer of any movie ever in 24 hours, following only Avengers Infinity War.
Nice.
That's a
Which
pretty
is also
hard
a
target
Disney
to-
property.
Yeah.
Alright, so guys, who wants to talk about some cartoons that they saw as movies and who they liked it or disliked it?
There's going to be crickets now.
I think most of the time I haven't really had a good experience watching the movie after the cartoon. Like I remember watching the Flintstones movie, and I feel the cartoons were way better than...
But
Did
is
they
that
have a
not
movie?
like a nostalgia factor?
Did they have a movie?
Flintstone has like 2 movies.
Yeah.
Oh God.
And I actually...
He's Scooby Doo.
Yeah, Scooby.
Yeah.
We'll come there.
Why are we talking about
Slowly and
Scooby-Doo?
steadily. So who...
I do
yeah.
have a question that do we feel that a lot of the movies which we see now after they have been made into movies from cartoons, do we tend to feel or tend to hold it to extremely high standards because of the nostalgia factor associated with the cartoons? Because there are like a whole bunch that we've watched, like even the Disney Jungle Book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't that enthused by it.
No, I loved the live action Jungle Book. I think they did an amazing job. I think it's a slightly different, or maybe
I
not.
think they did a really, really good job with
Like-
the VFX, but I don't know, the story didn't feel as good. But it's probably
I'll-
the exact same story.
I'll probably be applying that same filter to the Lion King film because that's way closer to my heart because I watched it in the theater as a child
Yes.
with my family. So I have way fonder memories of watching it in the theater than I did of Jungle Book, which I saw on a VHS. And I liked the film, but I thought this one was really good. But I get your point. That's because when we see cartoons as a kid, we are observing the way the fluidity of characters is happening, who did the voice, what the music was like, how it made us feel, and then we want to be children again when we see these films when live action comes around. And many a times live action is its own thing. It's not reminiscent of, like the Flintstones, for example. I think it was a perfectly cool comedy film, but then it didn't have the same appeal or the same visual language that the cartoon does. Like, you want Fred Flintstone's eyes and nose to be a certain way, like with the feet of their cars moving a certain way. They can't do that on live action.
They kind of, well, it wasn't live action, but they kind of tried something like that with the Tintin movies, didn't they?
Yeah, they did,
They tried to keep the exaggerated features a little bit.
But would you consider that live action though?
I don't think so. I don't know what to call that movie.
Was that rotoscoped? No, right?
No.
It was motion capture, which is also what Avatar was, but we somehow consider that as live action.
Yeah, but then it had like normal actors as well as motion captured actors. I think in the Tintin movie there weren't any like people.
I don't know, maybe I don't know, because I don't know how to answer that.
We have no technical knowledge about what we're speaking.
We will just consider some as live action and some not. What about Disney themselves? Like, I remember they did a 101 Dalmatians live action film.
Oh, that was fun.
That was fun. Yeah,
that was great.
I remember.
I watched the film first and then
the cartoon.
Yeah, then the cartoon. So I pretty much liked it, I would say.
Yeah, but that was also fun. Also, you got to see real life dogs.
And those 100+ puppies.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So cute.
Yeah, I have good memories of watching that. And the villains and all were suitably exaggerated.
Right.
So I think that ends up capturing the essence of the cartoon.
Right.
I feel the more exaggerated it is, the more it tends to capture the essence of the cartoon.
Okay.
I don't know, maybe this is just a personal thing, because I think the Speed Racer movie wasn't as bad as people thought.
Okay.
It was bright, but I think it captured some of the essence of the actual Speed Racer cartoons. Which, by the way, I tried to watch them again. Oh God, how did I watch them when I was young?
I think in that regard, even Casper was pretty good.
Yeah, Casper was pretty good.
I think all those early 90s movies were...
But then again, do you think that, again, because they were actually good movies, or again because we were kids and we just saw things less critically when we were kids?
I think it's the latter, because I just started... I watched Casper yesterday and it seemed pretty...
nostalgic? Dull?
Yeah,
Okay.
it seemed pretty dull. And I even tried watching Alice in Wonderland, in fact, which is not that old.
The live action.
Yeah.
The
And I
2010.
wasn't that engrossed in it for some reason. Yeah, although the visuals and everything were great, but the storytelling was quite poor.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about films like Garfield, where I feel like everything else is live action, but then the character itself is CGI? So then I feel like, why not just let it be a cartoon then? If you're, you know.
But that's what they did with Stuart Little also.
That's true.
Although it wasn't
But Stuart Little
cartoon.
was awesome.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, Stuart Little still had some similar. It's like Dr. Dolittle. The animals are still there. They're gonna CGI how they talk, maybe, or something like that. So that's still.
I think that works for that kind of a film.
I don't
because
think Stuart Little was a real rat.
It was
No, it wasn't.
Right?
But Tinkerbell was a real cat, and they somehow made it seem like it was speaking. So. No?
Tinkerbell?
It was Snowbell.
Snowbell. Sorry, Tinkerbell's Peter Pan, different franchise. Has there been Hook was a film that was kind of made from Peter Pan to
the Robin
live
Williams
action.
one.
Yeah, not a direct
that.
adaptation, but a reimagining of Peter Pan. It was a fun movie.
I like
was great.
reimaginings. I think that's more interesting, at least for people who've watched the cartoons and have kind of grown up a little bit.
Right.
I feel like reimaginings are more interesting because you're like, oh, this is a different viewpoint instead of seeing the exact same thing again in grittier colors.
Yeah, I think Hook is a movie which I will enjoy even now. Like just the way it was made and shot and the characters and...
It's true.
Yeah. Just...
What about... go ahead.
I would say, especially these anime stuff, namingly the Dragon Ball Z movie, I would say.
I don't think Hollywood has still nailed how to make anime into live action.
They fall short back. I don't know.
I don't think they understand how anime works yet.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, there's a certain way the cartoons look, and animes are even more exaggerated and height. The animation and the action is so heightened that when you convert it into a real action, it kind of takes away the charm of it. That's what I feel, and I'm not a big anime enthusiast.
Yeah, but I liked the Pokemon trailer though.
Yeah, well, I feel like Pokemon is quite a Western sort of anime. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm probably wrong about this, but it's got that formula, right? Cute animals, CGI animals, realistic world.
Sure.
So
I just the reason I liked the Detective Pikachu, is that what it's called? Yeah. We spoke about it in the last episode.
Yeah.
Good
but
job,
the reason
Abbas.
I liked it is because I thought it was doing its own thing. So someone like me who doesn't follow Pokemon also was able to find that trailer intriguing. As opposed to say something like this was not a cartoon but like the Warcraft movie. When the trailer came out, it was very much targeted at people who know the games world inside out. And someone like me who doesn't follow the game, I wasn't interested. I'm like, why should I watch this when I don't? Whereas Detective Pikachu, I'll still go and watch because it seems like a good film unto itself.
Yeah.
What about The Mask?
I love The Mask.
The Mask.
Maybe it's because it was Jim Carrey.
Yes, and also a lot of CGI, but well-used CGI. I mean, they used the...
Well, that was back then. I feel like
back
if you
then,
watched it now, the CGI...
I still enjoy it. I don't know.
Yeah, even I still enjoy it.
Who voiced the cartoons? Was it Jim Carrey?
No, it wasn't Jim Carrey. It was some other actor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Mask was a pretty old cartoon.
Addams Family, another cartoon to film that I liked.
The name,
the family values in...
I think Addams Family translates well because it's got a very strong aesthetic which you can pretty much recreate in a live action thing without, making it look too grimdark. I feel like Addams Family translated really well. Also, the characters were the best.
And did you guys like the Scooby-Doo movie? Like, I had to come to this.
Listen, Scrappy-Doo is like the
He's
worst
been waiting
character.
for this since the start of the episode.
It had Rowan Atkinson and all. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, but still, I mean, I don't know. I didn't know what to make of it as a child, but the more I have grown up, the more I hate that film. Like, no. It's just, I don't know.
I have never wanted to kill an animated dog more. I'm not talking about
Scrappy.
I'm talking about his nephew. What the heck, Scrappy? We believed in you and this is what you do?
What about, all the DC and Marvel movies?
So I think that the source material for those I consider as the comics,
yeah.
And then the cartoons were based in the comic books, and now the films are like a culmination of both the comics and the cartoon.
And sometimes it's different to both.
Yeah. But I kind of like it. I think the source material there is very strong. It was for both the cartoons and the films.
There was a nice live action cartoon recently made, a Paddington Bear. That actually worked out pretty well.
I actually enjoyed the first part.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know this.
Yeah.
I knew there were books and then they became a movie.
No, there was a cartoon. He had a blue coat and I think a yellow or red hat. I don't even remember.
Did anybody see the Winnie the Pooh movie?
No, not yet.
No,
was it? Wait, is that the one where
Christopher Robinson? Yeah.
Christopher Robbins, I think.
Robinson? Robbins. I'll take every take and then... okay, so before we wrap up, what about movies like Space Jam and Who Framed Roger Rabbit, which kind of where cartoons play cartoons, but they're also interacting with the real world? I love those kind of movies.
I think those were extraordinary movies. And I don't know why it's not done much anymore, but they were extraordinary. The whole fact that those cartoons were unashamedly cartoons in that real life setting.
Yeah.
And the way, and that is some next level acting, I have to say, because, sitting and reacting to a cartoon, which is...
And looking in the right direction.
Yeah, looking in their eyes and, compensating for their wacky antics by making your eyes move along with theirs. It's an art.
Yeah.
So Space Jam is with the Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
And Michael Jordan.
Yeah. I think Space Jam was a classic and considering at the time at which it was made with that technology that was available. I think they did a phenomenal job.
It was a great. Space Jam was a lot of fun, yes. And another one, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, is one of my favorites because that actually addresses all the facts. So in the movie, there is a Warner Brothers, there is a Disney, and then sometimes the Disney characters feel superior because the Warner Brothers is not as big as Disney. So it kind of addresses those issues within the film, and I think it's really cool. All right, so who else wants to add something?
I'd like to ask you guys, what movies are you guys looking forward to next year? Of course, there's Lion King.
And Avengers.
Yeah.
And Dumbo.
Oh, yes.
Dumbo looks good. It's again done by Tim Burton. I'll tell you two films I'm looking forward to more in this Disney slate of films. One is Aladdin.
Yes.
And the other is Mulan.
I am so terrified
I
for
want
Mulan.
to see what cultural appropriation they've done.
I am so terrified for what they're going to do to Mulan. I'm like, no, you cannot do this to one of the best Disney films. Just don't.
Because, the original Aladdin wasn't offensive, but it played in the stereotypes of the Middle East and characters from the Middle East. So I want to see how they retcon that and make an effort to do the right thing this time.
I am excited.
Also, Will
for
Smith
Mulan.
as the genie. I don't know. Let's see.
Yeah.
Well, we don't have Robin Williams anymore.
That's
Rest
true.
in peace.
So, yeah.
I am looking forward to Mulan. I'm a little skeptical about it. But I'm hoping they'll do a good job.
Yeah.
I've got all my fingers crosses. Please be good.
Did anyone see Beauty and the Beast?
Oh, the
No.
Emma
The one
Watson
with
one.
Emma
Watson one,
No,
yeah.
I missed it.
Even I missed it.
Was the Beast animated or was it like
It was motion capture. So the actor was actually covered
In a suit.
in suit
Oh,
with
okay.
dots. But then he did those actions and they made they superimposed the character on him. So yeah. I mean, I don't know. I have mixed feelings about these Disney films being recreated. Like Alika said, that there should be some sense of originality. Like with Alice in Wonderland wasn't the best movie, but I think Tim Burton was still trying to do something different from the cartoon.
Yeah.
From what I've seen of the Lion King, like I said, it's too frame to frame similar and same. Like unless you're going to do something
We'll
different.
get to see, spoilers, we'll get to see Mufasa's death in gritty DC
It's
extreme.
just
We'll get to see it like in the DC universe sort of grittiness.
I don't want to watch that.
yeah, not looking forward to that.
So I have a question. Why don't they do, if they're going to make a remake of Lion King, why don't they do it in like the style of something like Zootopia? It'd be super bright and poppy and it looks colorful and cheerful.
I don't know, because I think it's still considered animation, whereas they want to do it more closer to what we would call real life.
Yeah.
Like with Beauty and the Beast, they want a real Emma Watson to be on screen.
But like in Lion King, there's not a single real person.
There isn't, but look at the star cast. They've got Beyonce, they've got Donald Glover, they've got Billy Eichner, Seth Rogen. So
Sure.
they can sell that as a live action.
But they
star
can still
cast.
voice those characters. There's nothing stopping them from voicing
No, but I think
it.
that's the thing. They don't want to do a shiny, bright version of it. They
Yeah.
want to do a grittier, serious version of
And Alika, we know that you're going to watch the movie.
Yeah,
We
this
all
is
are.
This is true because Lion King is my favorite Disney movie, hands down. Nothing
Same
has
here.
yet moved it from the top spot. I've been waiting for something to come along and push it off, but nothing yet.
Think of it this: they're also going to do a Pocahontas version at some point.
Oh
and-
my god! No! Do people know the truth about Pocahontas? Because I feel like they don't.
What's the truth?
The truth is that Pocahontas was 12 years old.
Doesn't look like in the
Exactly.
The genre would be completely changed.
Has there been a Little Mermaid film?
Live. Oh no, that's
Ariel one,
going to
right?
be an
Yeah.
interesting one. Yeah, at some point where Disney.
We have
By the way,
Aquaman coming up. So-
Because since we're talking about this, I recently saw Ralph Breaks the Internet, and there's a little section in the middle of the movie where all the Disney princesses.
yeah.
That's a very intelligent and funny take on all the things that we're talking about how Disney princesses through the years have just been used as a pawn to reach the prince or the male guy.
Yeah,
and
they've
it's-
always been the plot device for the
Yeah.
main guy to come and save them.
So they use it very intelligently. So just a quasi recommendation: watch Ralph Breaks the Internet just for that.
What do you guys think about a BoJack Horseman film?
Won't work.
I feel like
definitely
I would
won't,
be
yeah.
too depressed to watch it.
Yeah, I think BoJack comes with that. But I think it would be interesting. I would like to see how they do it at least.
They
Whether
just
it-
wear that horse mask.
yeah.
But there are also other characters. There's
there's
Princess Carolyn. There's
who's the
Peanut Butter.
Yes, that's the dog's name.
Yeah.
Peanut Butter. It's a nice name.
All right, that was our recommendation. We all pretty much were like, okay, BoJack live action is getting too much. Let's
not
wrap up
get
the episode here.
that.
All right, so that was our show. Before we wrap up, I'd just like to remind you that we are reaching 100 episodes for IVM Likes, guys. Yes, excited. Yes, we're all very excited, and we want to make you a part of the 100th episode. So tell us what have been some of your favorite recommendations, some of your favorite episodes or moments that you remember from the 100 episodes that we have done. Make a voice note of it or write into us. You can mail both those things at shows@indusvox.com, and we might just play your voice note on the 100th episode and hear what you have to say. Before we wrap up, you can also write into us and reach us through our social media handles. We are at IVM Podcasts on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You can reach out to us individually as well. Karthik, where can one find you?
I'm Grow Up Mohan at Instagram and Twitter.
Alika?
I'm Cape Fox Alex on Twitter and Instagram.
And Jaanam?
I'm Jaanam Diwan on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram.
And Abbas is Abbas Momin on Twitter and Abbas Momin88 on Instagram. So until next time, we shall see you on episode 99 of IVM Likes next week. Till then, bye-bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are about to listen to attempt number 15 to record the promo for the podcast Vartal.
Vartal.
All
day, all night, Vartal.
Oh yeah. It's a really nice podcast, guys. It's with me and Naveen, and it has really nice stories.
Yeah, people come tell their stories, ups and downs, fun times. We all cry at the end. It's like a Karan Johar movie, but in 1 hour or less.
Hey.
Yeah, every Monday. Yeah.
It's got Long ago, not in Bethlehem, but in a place nearby, there was a wonderful birth of a huge show, which I like to call Cyrus Says. A show that encapsulates everything in human history, from the first Homo sapien to the last Homo sapien. Who's traversed the entire world and then come back to India. This is a show which tells you everything about everything. If you want to know, avoid Google, come to us. It's called Cyrus Says. Get new episodes every Monday and Thursday on the IVM Podcast app, website, or wherever you get your podcasts from. It's simple as A, B, oh God, what comes after that?